Welcome to Germany. A land where history lives in the present, where every corner echoes with legends, and where nature and architecture exist in perfect harmony. In this video, we'll explore the 10 most visited, iconic, and soul-stirring destinations in Germany. From fairy tale castles to ancient cathedrals, from bustling cities to serene valleys. Whether you're a first-time traveler or a seasoned adventurer, this journey through Germany will capture your heart and ignite your wanderlust. So grab your virtual passport and let's dive into the magic of Deutschland. One, Berlin's Brandenburg Gate and Reichstag. Our journey begins in Germany's powerful heart, Berlin. And nothing captures Berlin's spirit quite like the Brandenburg Gate. Standing since 1791, this neoclassical masterpiece was modeled after the gateway to the Acropolis in Athens. It originally symbolized peace, but over the centuries, it has witnessed the tides of empire, destruction, division, and finally, unity. Once a backdrop for Napoleon's triumph, then a Cold War flashpoint, and now a symbol of reunified Germany, the gate is more than just stone and columns. It's living history. Stand beneath its mighty pillars, and you'll feel the weight of centuries echoing through time. But the Brandenburg Gate isn't just a landmark. It's a central hub surrounded by some of Berlin's most significant sights. Just a few steps away lies the solemn memorial to the murdered Jews of Europe. 2,711 grey concrete slabs that create a chilling yet poignant experience as you walk among them. It's one of the most powerful tributes to Holocaust victims in the world. Visitors can actually walk the spiraling ramp inside the dome, gaining 360-degree views of Berlin, from the Tiergarten Park to the distant TV tower. And below, you can even look down into the Parliament chamber, where Germany's decisions are shaped. Few places in the world offer such symbolic access to democracy. As you wander between these landmarks, you'll also pass Pariser Platz, once a no-man's land during the Cold War, now a vibrant square with embassies, cafes, and street performers. The energy here is electric, modern Berlin pulsing around its oldest icons. From the Brandenburg Gate's sunset-lit silhouette to the Reichstag's shimmering glass dome, these aren't just attractions, they're storytellers. They remind us how nations fall, rise, and reconcile. And that's what makes Berlin so unforgettable. It never hides its history. It displays it proudly. Berlin Wall, Memorial, and East Side Gallery. As we continue exploring Berlin, we come face to face with one of the most powerful reminders of the Cold War, the Berlin Wall. For 28 long years, this concrete barrier split not just a city, but a nation, a continent, and the lives of millions. At the heart of this haunting history is the Berlin Wall Memorial, located along Bernauer Straße. Here, you don't just see the wall, you feel it. The memorial preserves one of the last remaining stretches in its original form, complete with guard towers, the death strip, and eerie fences. It's a chilling but necessary place where silence speaks louder than words. But this isn't just about concrete and barbed wire. It's about human stories. Families torn apart overnight, lovers separated by borders, lives lost trying to escape oppression. A steel cross marks the spot where 18-year-old Peter Fechter was shot while trying to flee. His story, like so many others, echoes through this site. Step into the documentation center and you'll find a gripping exhibit filled with photographs, footage, and personal accounts. It brings to life what Berliners experienced, from desperation and defiance to hope and, eventually, freedom. But Berlin didn't just tear down the wall, it turned it into a canvas of resilience. And that brings us to the East Side Gallery, a 1.3-kilometer stretch of the wall transformed into the longest open-air gallery in the world. Every artwork tells a story, some angry, some hopeful, some surreal. There's something raw and emotional about this space. It's not curated or polished. It's real, and that's what makes it resonate with millions of visitors every year. And just beyond the murals, the Spree River flows peacefully, a striking contrast to the violence that once divided this area. The wall, once a symbol of separation, now brings the world together through art. For travelers, the Berlin Wall experience is essential, not because it's beautiful, but because it's brutally honest. It teaches us that even walls built to divide can become monuments that unite. Three, Neuschwanstein Castle. Next, we travel into the heart of Bavaria, where nestled among the snow-capped peaks and pine-covered hills lies a castle pulled straight from a fairy tale. Neuschwanstein Castle. Perched dramatically atop a rugged cliff overlooking the Hohenschwangau Valley, this 19th century masterpiece is more than just beautiful. It's legendary. Built by King Ludwig II of Bavaria, also known as the Fairy Tale King, Neuschwanstein was never designed for defense or war. Instead, it was a personal dream, a romantic retreat inspired by fantasy, mythology, and the operas of Richard Wagner. As you approach, the castle's white limestone facade, towering turrets, and sky-piercing spires seem to emerge from a dream. It's no surprise this very castle inspired Walt Disney's Cinderella Castle and became an international symbol of magic and imagination. But Neuschwanstein is more than just a picture-perfect exterior. Step inside, and you're transported into a world of gold-gilded halls, intricate wood carvings, and painted murals that look like scenes from medieval epics. The throne hall, with its massive chandeliers and celestial blue ceiling, was designed to resemble a Byzantine church. The Singers' Hall is equally majestic, decorated with colorful frescoes that honor heroic German legends. And yet, King Ludwig II, the visionary behind all this grandeur, lived here for only a few months. He was declared mentally unfit and mysteriously died shortly after. His story remains one of the most tragic and intriguing royal tales in German history. Some say Neuschwanstein was his escape from a world he no longer fit into. 4. Munich's Marienplatz and Nymphenburg Palace. Our next stop is the vibrant capital of Bavaria, Munich, a city where centuries of tradition meet modern-day culture with effortless style. And at the very heart of it all lies the historic Marienplatz, Munich's central square since 1158. Step into Marienplatz and you're instantly surrounded by the beating pulse of the city. Towering above the cobbled square is the new town hall, or Neues Rathaus, a neo-Gothic masterpiece with over 400 rooms and an intricate facade that looks straight out of a fantasy novel. But the true highlight, the Glockenspiel. Every day at 11 a.m., 12 p.m., and 5 p.m. in summer, crowds gather to watch this mechanical wonder come alive. 43 bells and 32 life-sized figures spin, dance, and reenact historical Bavarian tales, including a royal wedding and a lively jousting tournament. It's whimsical, charming, and unforgettable. Just steps away, street musicians fill the air with traditional Bavarian tunes, boutique cafes offer fresh pretzels and beer, and shops line the nearby Viktualienmarkt, Munich's famous open-air food market where you can sample local cheeses, sausages, and handcrafted sweets. But Munich's elegance doesn't end at the town's square. A short tram ride away lies the magnificent Nymphenburg Palace, a Baroque gem that once served as the summer residence of Bavarian royalty. Wander through the Gallery of Beauties, a fascinating collection of portraits commissioned by King Ludwig I, featuring the most beautiful women of Munich, regardless of social class, from noblewomen to shoemakers' daughters. It's a blend of history and humanity that makes this palace feel personal. Cologne Cathedral. Rising high above the skyline of Cologne like a Gothic crown of stone, the majestic Cologne Cathedral, or Kölner Dom, is one of Germany's most awe-inspiring landmarks and a true marvel of human ambition and faith. Standing at a staggering 157 meters, 515 feet tall, this UNESCO World Heritage Site is not only the tallest cathedral in Germany, but also one of the tallest churches in the world. Construction began in 1248, yes, nearly 800 years ago, but it wasn't fully completed until 1880. That's over 600 years of devotion, artistry, and perseverance. The cathedral's twin spires dominate the city's skyline, but it's the intricate details that truly take your breath away. Thousands of statues, pointed arches, gargoyles, and finely sculpted reliefs cover its facade, each telling stories of biblical figures, saints, and centuries-old legends. Step inside, and you'll find yourself in one of the most sacred and spiritual spaces in Europe. The cathedral's vast nave stretches endlessly, illuminated by the glow of its spectacular stained glass windows, some dating back to the 14th century, and others, like the modern pixel-style window by artist Gerhard Richter, adding a bold and contemporary contrast. But at the heart of the cathedral lies its greatest treasure, the Shrine of the Three Kings. This golden, jewel-encrusted reliquary is believed to house the remains of the biblical Magi, the three wise men who visited Jesus after his birth. Pilgrims from around the world come here just to stand before it. Six, Romantic Road and Rothenburg, ob der Tauber. Now get ready to step into a fairy tale, one where every turn reveals medieval towns, flower-covered cottages, ancient towers, and dreamy countryside. Welcome to the Romantic Road, Germany's most scenic driving route and one of Europe's most magical journeys. Stretching over 400 kilometers, the Romantic Road winds its way through Bavaria and Baden-Württemberg, connecting some of the country's most picturesque towns, each with its own rich history and charm. You'll pass lush vineyards, half-timbered villages, hilltop castles, and cobblestone squares that look untouched by time. But the crown jewel of this enchanting route is undoubtedly Rothenburg ob der Tauber, a town so perfectly preserved it feels like walking through the pages of a medieval storybook. Surrounded by intact 14th century walls, Rothenburg's charm lies in its timeless beauty. Red-roofed houses lean gently against one another. Ivy creeps up pastel-painted walls, and every narrow alley leads to a discovery. A tiny bakery, an antique clock shop, or a hidden courtyard. At the heart of Rothenburg is the Marktplatz, where the stunning town hall, Rathaus, towers over the square. Its Gothic and Renaissance architecture speaks to the town's long-standing wealth and influence during the Middle Ages. Climb its tower, and you'll be rewarded with a breathtaking panoramic view of the town's crooked streets and the Tauber Valley beyond. Want to experience a bit of quirky medieval justice? Visit the Medieval Crime Museum, where you'll find ancient punishment tools, law books, and shocking stories from the Middle Ages that will both educate and fascinate. 7. Black Forest. Deep in the southwest corner of Germany lies a mystical land of towering pine trees, mist-covered trails, and timeless folklore. Welcome to the Black Forest, or as locals call it, the Schwarzwald. Stretching across over 6,000 square kilometers, the Black Forest is a place where nature and myth intertwine. Its name comes from the dense, dark canopy of evergreen trees that once blocked out the sun, creating an almost enchanted atmosphere, the kind that inspired the brothers Grimm to write some of their most famous fairy tales. But this isn't just a place of stories. It's a living paradise for nature lovers, hikers, and travelers seeking peace. Miles of scenic trails wind through ancient woodlands, past shimmering lakes, and up to panoramic viewpoints that reveal endless layers of rolling green hills. Whether you're walking, cycling, or simply breathing in the crisp alpine air, every moment feels like a step into another world. One of the forest's most iconic highlights is the Triberg waterfalls, among the tallest in Germany. As the water plunges nearly 163 meters, it creates a thundering symphony of sound and spray, framed by mossy rocks and wooden bridges. This is nature at its raw and beautiful best. Just nearby, step into a world of precision and charm in the town of Triberg, the undisputed home of the cuckoo clock. Here, the art of traditional wood carving has been passed down for generations. Visit the House of 1,000 Clocks and watch intricately handcrafted timepieces come to life, complete with dancing figurines and chirping cuckoos that mark each hour. Heidelberg Castle and Old Town. Perched high above the Neckar River, with sweeping views of the town below, Heidelberg Castle is one of the most iconic and romantic landmarks in all of Germany. With its striking red sandstone walls, towers and ruins, the castle tells a story of centuries-old nobility, power, and the triumphs and tragedies of history. Dating back to the 13th century, the castle has witnessed wars, fires, and even the ravages of time itself. Yet it still stands proud on the hillside, a testament to its enduring beauty and historical significance. As you make your way up to the castle, take the funicular railway for an easy ascent, or if you're feeling adventurous, Hike up the steep paths that wind through lush forests, offering views of Heidelberg and the surrounding countryside. Once you reach the castle, you're greeted by panoramic views of the town and the Neckar River snaking through the valley below. From the great terrace, you can gaze out at the rolling hills of the Odenwald and the gentle sprawl of the old town, which seems almost too perfect to be real, like something out of a fairy tale. Inside the castle, explore the grand courtyard with its Baroque fountains and statues, and wander through the castle gardens, which are full of flowers, sculptures, and even a charming herb garden. But it's the Heidelberg Castle Pharmacy that's truly unique. Once the largest and most famous pharmacy in Europe, it now houses a fascinating collection of old medical instruments and potions that will transport you back to a time when science and superstition were closely entwined. The Church of the Holy Spirit dominates the square with its towering spire and Gothic architecture. Built in the 14th century, this church stands as a silent witness to the town's rich religious history, and it's impossible not to feel the weight of time as you admire the intricate stained glass windows and towering arches inside. Don't miss the old bridge, Alte Brücke, a beautiful 18th century structure that arches over the Neckar River. Zugspitze and Garmisch-Partenkirchen. High in the Bavarian Alps, where the air is crisp and the views are nothing short of breathtaking, lies Zugspitze, Germany's highest peak at an impressive 2,962 meters, 9,718 feet. This towering mountain is a paradise for adventurers, offering some of the most stunning vistas in all of Europe. To reach the summit, take a ride on the Zugspitze cable car, which carries you up in just 10 minutes, ascending 2,000 meters above the Garmisch-Partenkirchen Valley. As the cable car climbs, the views of the snow-covered peaks and lush green valleys unfold beneath you, a perfect photo op at every turn. At the top, you'll be greeted by a panoramic 360-degree view of the Alps stretching across Germany, Austria, Switzerland, and Italy on a clear day. The summit platform offers an unbeatable view of the Garmisch-Partenkirchen Valley with towering mountain peaks on all sides. The experience is truly otherworldly, and it's easy to see why this place draws visitors from around the globe. For the thrill seekers, Zugspitze is home to some of the best skiing and snowboarding in Germany, offering slopes for all levels, from beginners to advanced. And when winter turns to spring, the mountain is perfect for mountain hiking and even paragliding, giving you a chance to soar through the fresh alpine air. But Zugspitze isn't just about the view. It's also home to Germany's highest restaurant, where you can enjoy a meal with a side of unparalleled scenery. Picture yourself sipping hot chocolate or enjoying a traditional Bavarian meal while surrounded by snow-capped peaks. It's an experience you'll never forget.